Growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s was a great time as a kid. There were great TV shows to watch, fun video games that were coming out like Mario Galaxy 2, Rayman Origins, and even, of course, Skylanders. As I was watching TV as a kid, I saw this advertisement for an online MMO called Wizard101.
Who will save Wizard City?
This may be the one.
They'll have to be brave.
They'll face horrible creatures.
They can't do it alone.
They'll make many friends here at Ravenwood School.
They must have great potential.
Of course, they must learn many spells and summon the mightiest of creatures if they are to defeat the greatest threat of all. Sign up for your free trial today, rated everyone 10 and up.
As a kid, the commercials were magical with how they advertised the worlds on the spiral and what you can do in the game. You can meet new friends, learn powerful new spells, and save the world from the big bad Malistaire. Not to mention the Malistaire's commercials being pretty cool as a kid seeing the wizards fighting him. Of course, a young SirLuigi wanted a piece of the action, so on the 4th of March in 2010, I had my account made for me, and I've been using it ever since. So, how is the game, you might ask? Well, in my fair opinion, it still holds up to this day with its very active community. Wizard101 is an MMO where you play as a new wizard to Ravenwood, but just as the headmaster is introducing himself, in the nearby tower, a window shatters as you see a shadowy figure walk past the open window. Once inside, it is revealed to be the antagonist of the game, Malistaire. Here you learn the game's combat. The tutorial was really well done with how it teaches you about casting and using spells, along with even positive and negative blades. Of course, you win against Malistaire's minions and he flees. After you are giving a wand to the spellbook, you begin the game. The start of the game is really great to lean people in to learn the combat more, when you start using shields, blades, and traps. Shields obviously protect you by making incoming damage weaker, while traps do the opposite. Blades can also do that, but you can also cast negative blades that lower the opponent's attack, or makes them do less healing to themselves. The game has several different schools to enroll in. Storm is a glass cannon school. You are weaker, but you can do more massive damage if your spells don't fizzle. Ice is the tank school. While you don't do that much damage, it's a great school for defensive players. Fire does spells that do burn damage over time along with some pretty good damage. Life, obviously, is a supportive school where you learn healing spells to heal yourself or your peers in battle. Myth can summon minions to help do damage or even support you with blades, shields, and heals. Death is the vampiric school, where some spells can do damage and give you half of that as health back, or can even take damage to get healing or blades. Lastly, balance is a mixed bag as some of their spells can do any of the school elemental damage. Not one school is better than others. It's mainly up to preference or opinion. As a kid, I chose Fire School because fire is a pretty strong element in games and how it deals overtime damage. During your adventure, you'll run into boss fights. These are mainly indicated by a sigil with 4 spots on it, for you and 3 other wizards. Sometimes the sigil will lead to a dungeon, a long area where if you leave or die in between it, you will have to redo it all over again. You'll know it's a dungeon if a message comes up as you try to enter saying how long you'll estimate to take you. Though some may be long and hard, they can give some of the best loot if you're up for the challenge. Of course, being an MMO, there are tons of side quests that will either give you gold or XP or even other rewards. When you sometimes level up, your school teacher will either give you a new spell or a tough quest to earn that new spell. Along with learning your school spells, you are given training points to learn other school spells, like maybe a storm wizard wants a tower shield or a strong myth wants to use a feint. They'd have to learn each spell in that class to get to that exact spell, because you can't just skip Death Fairy for feint. So it's best to plan your training points wisely, or if you mess up, you'll have to pay crowns to redo them, or just wait for the membership benefits. With all the basic stuff aside, how about we talk about its story? Arc 1 of Wizard101 has you going through the worlds of the Spiral, on the chase for Malistaire and stopping the problems he caused along the way, like releasing the undead in Wizard City, awakening the Tuts in Krakatopia, freeing Meow from Marleybone prison, and putting a curse on Mushu's Emperor. Each world feels different in themes and music, with Krakatopia being an ancient desert-like world of pyramids and the Krakosphinx, while Marleybone is a city with dogs and transport via blimps. Then you have the final world in Arc 1, Dragonspire. You work your way through the levels of this world to get close to fighting Malistaire, and once you have a dragon staff and tame a drake, you fly to finally fight Malistaire once and for all. One thing I forgot to mention was his background and motives. This is something you learn through the worlds you explore, mainly in Wizard City side quests. Malastair was the Death Professor at Ravenwood, alongside his wife Sylvia Drake, who was the Life Professor, alongside Malastair's brother Cyrus, who was the Myth Professor. Everything was perfect in life until Sylvia caught an illness. They tried everything to heal it, but it was unsuccessful and she passed away. This brought Malastair such anger and grief that he broke the deaf school off from the other schools as the classroom fell on the night side. After that, Malastair wanted to do everything he could to revive his wife. So he went to control the Dragon Titan to fix his problems. In the end, we defeat Malastair. After his death, he finally reunites with his wife as Ghost and finds peace and harmony. Of course, being the first arc, there are 2 other arcs in the game, with the 4th arc still being continued as I make this video with the recent world Lemuria. Arc 2 is about a shadowy force wanting to rewrite the spiral in their image, while Arc 3 has to do with a villain you set free unaware that he had evil intentions. The game, despite being about 14 to 15 years old, is still being developed and updated with new features, quests, and worlds. Alongside the PvE story content, there are a bunch of other things to do in the games, like pets, housing, events, activities, and player versus player combat. Pets can be a great thing to have early in the game, since certain pets can have spells with them. Or if you breed them right, they can have great talents of more attack, defense, or can even cast healing spells to heal you. Housing is quite obvious. You get a dorm room from the start to design, but with enough gold or crowns, you can buy a castle to decorate to your heart's content. Some of these are really impressive, especially with the addition of castle magic and other house designing tools. Personally, it's fun to design a castle in Wizard101. Events can be a range of stuff like battle events like the Dectathlon or the Beast Moon, or the more tame events like the Spiral Scene. There are also ones that give out new quests like the 5 Boxes events or the Lost Pages event. Activities include stuff like pet training or the minigames in the fairgrounds. Lastly, you have player versus player combat. I don't play it, but the arena is a popular place to be. Personally, this game has and will always be one of my favorites of all time, for not only being nostalgic, but also just because it's fun. Whether you're alone or friends, there's always a fun time to be had. But of course, the issue that people have with Wizard101 is that it has a membership fee. Yes, back then MMOs like Toontown, Fusion Fall, and even Club Penguin had memberships to make money. While yes, they barely offer a ton of free content both Wizard and Pirate, I still feel for $10 a month, it's a pretty good deal since you can probably bang out Arc 1 and maybe Arc 2 in a month if you have friends playing with you or if you speed through it solo. That's just my thoughts though, but still, it's a great game to me and many others. If you ever see a membership on sale, or ever see the first worlds are free, I highly recommend you give this game a fair shot. Hey, thanks for sticking until the end. I'm sorry about the Part 101 Let's Play being postponed, but with how the size of the test recorders are going, it's best to wait until my Wi-Fi gets upgraded. But at least I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, I would appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe button. It costs nothing and it helps me out a ton. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you all next time.